I'm really tired and weak today, so I'm gonna do the video like this, laying down. Time for our adventures to continue in a other country. We stayed in Khanom, Thailand from August 30th until October 16th, 2025. We were taking care of Yadong, such an amazing dog, for 6 weeks, and we absolutely loved that time. We loved it there. Our host Carol came home a day earlier because of a strike at the airport in Belgium. More about that here in the video last day in Khanom, Thailand. October 16th, 2025 at 8:30 a.m. Paul woke me up. And I felt nauseous and I felt my period starting. So after my daily T3, after I took that, I also took some GABA to calm down. And then I packed up the rest of my things and we were ready to leave. Like always, before a move, I pre-cooked a lot of food for me during the move. And so we bought a styrofoam box when we came to Thailand and on our way to Khanom. And from the goat's milk Jackie, our friend, ordered, we had 2 really great ice packs that Jackie didn't want. So we decided to put all the food, the supplement drinks, and those ice packs into the box and take this styrofoam box with us. So everything would stay nice and cold at the hotel where we would spend the night. At 9:30, Mr. Watt was supposed to pick us up to drive us to the train station in Surat Thani. And of course, he was at least 15 minutes too early, probably even more. Like always in Thailand. In Thailand, when you order a Grab or a driver, they're always like 15 minutes too early, because I think if they're too late, then they don't get the full amount of the payment, or they get a penalty or something like that. So in Thailand, they're always super early, and that used to stress me out like crazy. Not anymore, I know that by now. And so Carol, our host, made some coffee for Mr. Watt, and I just took my time to get the rest ready. We said our goodbyes and off we were to our next trusted house sitter sit. The car was great. It was a big car and I could even lay down. Unfortunately, I was not feeling very well. But at that time, I remember I was just really happy and grateful, even though I was nauseous and didn't feel so great, because I know it could have been so much worse. So I was just happy and grateful it wasn't worse. And I could lay down in the car. That helped a lot too. For example, here in that video, unten Montenegro to Split, Croatia, it was so much worse. So we left at 9:27 a.m. and arrived at 10:57 a.m. Train leaves at 1:52 p.m. Lots of time. We got our luggage out of the minibus and there was a guy that started to talk to Paul where we were going and stuff. So Paul told him we were going to Kuala Lumpur, and that guy told us that the train to Kuala Lumpur left in the morning, like early morning. We were like, what the fuck? So Paul went to the counter at the train station, and yes, we missed the fucking train. Paul showed me the tickets. I never looked at the tickets before. I should have, because it said 1:52. Yes, 1:52, not 13:52. We're not in the United States. It's not AM, PM. So 1:52 is 1:52. It's AM. 13:52, that is PM. And well, I grew up in Switzerland, I fucking know that. I'm used to that, and I'm sure if I would have looked at the tickets, I would have seen that, but I never looked at the tickets. Fuck! I couldn't believe it. Yes, Paul is American, but he's not that typical American that is ignorant, rude, loud, selfish. Well, a lot of people see Americans like that. I actually don't, honestly. For me, a typical American, so a typical US person, loves his country, is patriotic, loves a big juicy steak, goes gun shooting, maybe even hunting and fishing, goes to church, is respectful, drinks beer, whiskey, and is a family man. I think I just described a Texan guy, but this is much more a typical US guy to me. But yeah, so anyways, my point is, I was so surprised that this stupid mistake happened to Paul, because usually such a stupid mistake with AM PM doesn't happen to Paul. So yes, he's American, but he's really smart, and yeah, so I was just surprised, but I wasn't even mad at it. I just laughed. I thought it was funny, but I was also just like, oh, and like, why didn't I look at it? Because I'm pretty sure for me it would have been clear. And yeah, I just thought Paul is so much better than that, than making such a stupid mistake. But honestly, I make real stupid mistakes as well, even a lot more stupid. I make fucking stupid mistakes that make me look like I'm a moron. I'm a moron. I'm fucking stupid, but actually I'm really quite intelligent. So as mentioned, I didn't get mad. I thought it was funny, and I just thought, hey, more interesting stuff to tell you guys on my channel. More adventure in Aline's adventures, right? But my phone not charging anymore, that put me into panic mode. That was bad. Having to wait for hours and hours, and at some point my phone would shut off and I couldn't write down stuff for my videos anymore, couldn't do Duolingo, or I couldn't even track on Find Penguin where we're going. Yes, I'm tracking everywhere we're going. So hell no, that put me into panic mode. With that I can't deal with. No. And I couldn't even take any pictures or videos anymore during our move when it would shut off. So fuck no. We tried all the cables we had and none of them worked to charge it. So we really thought, fuck, something is wrong with my phone. Of course, we also tried all the cables with that battery. We tried to charge my phone with Paul's phone and they all worked. So it's not the cables, it's not the battery, it has to be my phone. Okay. We thought, let's try the other battery. Luckily, we have multiple batteries, and yes, it worked. What a relief. Oh my gosh, I got so attached to my phone. It worked, it started charging, and then from that point on, all the batteries, all the cables worked again on my phone. Super weird. I have no idea. We have no idea what the fuck was wrong with my phone. But I don't really care. It worked again. It still works. I'm fine. I'm good. I'm relieved. Yeah, it's crazy how attached I got to my phone, and I'm sure pretty much most of the people, but it really helps me, like especially during this nomad life. As I said, I write down what's happening, and then here I have it so I can read it, because I don't remember exactly what happened, so I'm writing it down at the time it's happening or just a little bit later. And I also, of course, use my phone to update our host, where we are, when we will arrive and stuff like that. And I also do online puzzling on the phone when I have anxiety, when I don't feel well, because it calms me down. So yes, I really need my phone. Anyways, so of course, the next train from Surat Thani to Padang Besar that left at 1:52 a.m. on October 17th, so a day later, 24 hours later basically, that one was totally fully booked. Of course, shit. So we got tickets just to Hat Yai, but Padang Besar is right on the border to Malaysia. Hat Yai is further away. But so we got tickets from Surat Thani to Hat Yai. So at least we could get into this direction. And at least those tickets were so cheap. So we paid 210 Thai baht, $6.46 US dollars for both of us. So we paid $3.23 per ticket. Fuck yeah. The train we missed cost us $65.03 for both of us. But that train we missed, I think, was a much more comfortable train. But anyways, so we didn't have any choices anymore. So we just kept hanging out at the train station. Paul got some food and drinks for himself. And how glad we were that we brought the styrofoam box with us, with the ice packs, with all the food and the supplements, drinks. Yeah, so because everything stayed cool. Yeah, actually we were lucky. It wasn't really hot at all. Actually, the phone said 31 degrees Celsius. But there was a breeze, and of course a fan was on, and we were in the inside of the train station. And yeah, I think the doors were open, so there was always a breeze. So the temperature was actually super comfortable, but not the chairs. They really hurt. They were not comfortable at all. My bony ass just hurt everywhere, yes. But so jackets and my stuffed animals that I put in a bag or so, yeah, and I just sat on them. They helped, so thank you guys. I do that quite often. When we move, they really help to cushion up my bony ass. Oh, and actually my nausea, it stopped basically when we walked into the train station. So I was super glad about that. So yes, we had to wait for a long time at the train station, but I was good. I felt good. I had my food, I had my supplements, I didn't have nausea, no pain, no anxiety, no panic attacks. So I'm good. And actually, a bit later on, I got cold, so I even put my jacket on in that train station. And then later on, I got really warm, so I took it off again. So I think, well, my period just started, so hormones, hormones. So the entry form for Malaysia Paul filled out 2 days ago wasn't accurate anymore, because you actually have to put in the date when you want to cross the border. So Paul had to change that. He also had to get another pair of earphones. He had to go buy some because his fell down on the scooter and mine just disappeared. He charged mine up the night before we left, and I asked him in the morning if he put them into my backpack, and he said yes, he put them in exactly where they belong, in that little bag thingy on my backpack, but they weren't there. I don't know, we looked everywhere, they just disappeared. I'm sad because I fucking hate earphones, they really irritate me, but well, sometimes I basically have to wear them, and those are actually pretty comfortable. So if earphones, I was glad I had those, but yeah, they just disappeared. So anyways, he bought earphones that we both actually fucking hate. Those wireless ones you just put in, and I have not tiny, but I have small ears. They hurt, and they cost 470 Thai baht, $14.43. So they weren't cheap. But well, at least so we had something in case I wanted to watch a movie or so. So yeah, we had something. But actually, later on, I found out that my iPad here, oh, where is it? I could actually try to, oh, here, I just found it again. Look at this. Ha! It has an outlet. And so I could actually use my earphones with the wire that I use for my iPod, the really old ones. I could use them here. Yeah, I just figured that out then. So cool. So old school. Is it just my perception, or is that announcing voice in that train station so much louder than other places, like for example at the Bern train station in Switzerland?
22:50 น.ทางผู้โดยสารมีผู้โดยสารเป็นที่เรียบร้อยแล้วโปรดนำสิ่งของและสัมภาระของท่านรอใช้การโดยสารได้ที่ชั้นจราที่ 1 ค่ะ Attention please accept the coming train in the special train number 38 and policy.
Well, it is a small train station in Surat Thani, Thailand, so maybe that makes the voice seem much louder. I don't know. I just felt it was crazy loud, and I had to put on my ear protectors because I couldn't stand it. Well, there was a family on the seats behind us, and they left all their, most of all their luggage there, and they just went away. But as at first, for quite a while, the son just was sitting there alone and probably looking after the luggage and stuff. But then after a while, he just kept going away, and for a long time. And then he came back, and then he went away again. But so the luggage was unattended for a very long time. Yeah, so Carol, our host, told us, because we have such a long wait at that train station, 14 hours, it's very safe, and you could probably just leave most of your luggage there at the train station and just take your valuables, laptop and phones and such stuff with you and go out to a restaurant or so. Hell no, I don't care how safe it may be. Oh, no. I don't leave any of our things unattended. Well, nothing happened to the bags that were behind us from that family. They were all still there. So nothing happened, only that they took away space for people that maybe would have wanted to sit down and they couldn't because it was just full of the bags. But hell no, I don't do that. So while Paul was gone, I felt bad that I took up 4 chairs. So I actually moved Paul's backpack over, so at least one of the chairs got free. So yeah, because behind us all the luggage was there and no one could sit, so I started to feel bad. Of course, the train for us, our train now, was late. It came from Bangkok, and all trains we saw so far were very, very full. Also ours. But luckily, it's one with assigned seats, so we had our seats. The train should have arrived in Surat Thani at 1:14 a.m. It arrived at 1:57 a.m. So we spent 15 hours waiting at that train station. Except for minor period cramps, and no, not pain, just like annoying, not really pain, it was just annoying. And of course, butt and back pain from the chairs. I felt really good. But of course, right before the train arrived, I felt nauseous and bowel pains. I took more GABA and luckily that helped. So as mentioned, the train was super full. And also our assigned seats, people were actually sitting there. But of course, when we showed that, hey, these are our seats, they moved right away. So no problem. But the problem was also where to put all our luggage. The train was so fucking full. I mean, people were sitting on the floor, luggage was everywhere, like really crazy. So Paul somehow, I don't know how, he managed to put the twins, our two white suitcases, up in the overhead storage. My backpack stays with me all the time anyways, in case of anxiety or other attacks, because I have my stuff in there. So always my backpack stays with me. The little kitchenette bag with tavuk and Mr. Top sirloin in it, and my meal bag, they also always stay with me. So the styrofoam box and Fat Boy, our big suitcase, they just didn't fit anywhere. So I think I had the styrofoam box on my lap and the Fat Boy we just had between our legs. I don't know. And I have no fucking idea how, but I even got some like little bouts of sleeps in it. But well, I was exhausted. We arrived in Hat Yai around 6:20 a.m., 1 hour too late. Our plan won't work. Paul told me even if the taxi driver would haul ass, we wouldn't make it to our second pre-booked train. Shit. So that was actually the end of my first video here about that move from Khanom Thailand to Kuala Lumpur Malaysia, but I gotta add something here. So on October 17th, 2025, we arrived in Hat Yai, and exactly 5 weeks later, on November 21st, 2025, Hat Yai got 335 millimeters of rain. It's the highest in a single day for 300 years. Yeah, a crazy flood swept through southern Thailand, Malaysia, and Indonesia. It turned into a tropical cyclone. It killed more than 1,000 people. Also in Nakhon Si Thammarat, where we were on our way to Khanom. And my friend Jackie's son lives there in Nakhon Si Thammarat, so I asked if he was okay, and she told me luckily he started a new job in Surat Thani, so he moved just before the disaster. How lucky is he? But friends of Jackie live in Hat Yai, and there 4 children and 5 adults were stuck on the top floor. The phone didn't always get a signal, so it was hard to get help. At one point, the water got 4 meters high, almost 14 feet. I don't know how long they were stuck up there, but I think at least 2 days. They still had food, but it was like running out. After they cleaned up, Jackie sent or brought them some roosters and hens. The guy used to have a whole bunch of them, but of course, he lost all of them. So I thought that was really nice of Jackie. Yeah, crazy. We've been to some places already that after we've been there, something bad happened. Like Bangkok, Thailand, Istanbul, Turkey, Belgrade, Serbia, but never something so severe like now in Thailand. And well, it was still 5 to 6 weeks after we were there, so we were totally fine, of course, but still, that was the closest so far where we were somewhere and afterwards something bad happened. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay safe.